Hey everyone, Pickles here. Long time no see. I've been really busy, but I'm getting back into creative mode full force this week. I'm going to have a lot of new content for you super soon. I've actually got 2 maps underway, and I'm hoping to have one of them ready for you by next weekend. So, lots of good stuff to come. Also, I have a bunch of V-Buck codes for 2,500 V-Bucks each, and I'm going to be doing some giveaways, so stay tuned for my next video that's going to tell you all about that. Today, what I want to do is just kind of talk about some of the tricks and tips I've figured out while working on creative maps, stuff that makes life easier, more organized, and just kind of makes the most of the tools that we've been given. So today I'm on this island that's all fresh and ready to build on. But one thing about the islands is that, unlike the block, you don't have that nice flat real estate for laying out your prefabs and your galleries. So what I love to do is take the indestructible gallery, grab a floor from this, and build a giant platform in the sky. And then you can lay out everything you want on this platform. And the reason it needs to be indestructible, I'll show you in a second, but first, just build your platform, and you can attach it to, a mountain or whatever structure you've got to work with, but just make it kind of connect in one place because that will make it easier to remove it in the end. But build it as big as you want. I'm going to make a pretty good size one for today. Okay, and now that that's done, you have this great big flat surface that's out of the way, and you can throw down whatever you want on it. You can move around, reorganize things, grab what you want, bring it into your build, and when you need to clear space, all you gotta do is blow everything up. Get some boom boxes or some C4 and go to town. And those indestructible floors aren't going anywhere. So that's probably the most useful thing ever for me. When it's time to get rid of the platform, when you're done building, just delete it where it's attached to the mountain and the whole thing will self-destruct. This next one is a little bit more specific to maps like Escape Maze, where you're using different walls and you need to be thinking about what's on each side to keep the rooms, having themes that make sense and are connected in a logical way. So one way to do this is to create a huge vertical gallery of lining up all of the matching walls, and then you can look on the back of them and see what you can create in the next room over. So it can be kind of time consuming, but it's really worth it because it'll be something that you use for the entire process. I think it took me like an hour to make this when I did Escape Maze 2, and then I used it for like 3 or 4 weeks while I was building. So it was worth the investment, I think. So once you line up everything, you can create a little archway. I just made a simple wood arch. That way, it marks the edge of one pattern and gives you a way to fly through and see the back. So I'm just doing a really quick, simple one today with 3 different walls. But, think about which walls you want to use, which patterns, and line them all up. And, you can create a massive wall of this. And then you're getting an idea of how much memory that's going to take up too. This is also really useful for floors too. You can make an elevated platform where you line up a bunch of floors and then you can look underneath them to see what the ceilings are. It's just really good for coordinating all of your patterns across your rooms. This next one might be a little bit obvious. It's one of the first things I figured out when I was building Escape Maze 1, but when you're building something that it was really starting out as a layout first and then designing later, you can make a blueprint. I just used wood and built the hallways and then came back later with the floors and the walls and the doors that I wanted to add to it. So I think especially for mazes, this is really useful. You can actually use a maze generator website. There's one called mazegenerator.net, and you just put in the width and height and it will generate a maze for you. It's pretty great way to make a blueprint for a maze, and you can make it as complicated as you want. You can hide secrets in all those dead ends or fill them with traps, whatever you want to do. Something that's really important when you're building a complex creative map is planning ahead. You only have that 100K memory to work with, and the prefabs and galleries you're going to lay out take up a ton of space. So think about what you want in advance and get those objects all laid out. Create a gallery for yourself from whatever objects you need. All the walls, floors, objects you want to use. It takes time, but it's worth it when, you're at 95,000 memory and you need that one object from that prefab that you can't throw down anymore. And this also is especially important with hidden objects. There's a lot of things that aren't in these galleries that you can find in other prefabs. One example of that is the hotel in the Winter Village prefabs. There's a bunch of objects in this that you can't find anywhere else, or, in a gallery. There's like these hotel things, the suitcase and the cart, the computer. That's in a few different things, but this rug, these chairs, these aren't in galleries. A lot of the pictures on the wall, those tables with the flowers, it's really useful stuff that you might want to pull. So definitely load up all these prefabs and look around for objects that you could not get from a gallery. There's a lot of good stuff hidden. This bed, I guess that's pretty much it from this one. But yeah, and some of the expedition outpost ones, all over the place, there's hidden stuff that you can't get elsewhere. So definitely start out with that. Look around and pull the things you want to use. Okay, and a quick note on spawn pads. If you want to control the direction that people will be facing when they spawn in, you can pay attention to a certain little aspect of the spawn pad itself. You don't actually face forward the direction that these numbers are facing. You'll actually spawn in facing away from this little metal part with the 3 lights in it. That's the back of the spawn pad. So when you're placing it, just make sure that you rotate it so that is in the back. So when you're placing a new spawn pad, pay special attention to where that little box is in the hologram. You'll often want to face to the left of where you actually want the spawn pad to face. And that's it. 5 little creative tips you might have not been aware of. If you've got any of your own, please share them in the comments so we can keep the knowledge growing. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, maybe even a subscribe, and stay tuned because we're giving a ton of V-Bucks away. There's more maps and more videos to come. All right, see you next time.